Just days ago, on 10th September, South Africa shocked me when they landed this rare criticism blow on Russia. As you can see in this strong-worded document, it isn't dancing around issues. Just one day later, on 11th September, I was still recovering from this shocking criticism when Kenya also stepped into the ring. Kenya landed an equally rare left hook criticism on Israel. What's happening, Cyril and William? I actually agree with these two positions, but probably for different reasons. These criticisms speak to one of the most critical yet elusive pillars of geopolitics. I'll tell you about it shortly. First, let's revisit South Africa's statement condemning Russia. I know that some of you are already triggered because in your eyes, Russia can do no wrong. But only God is perfect. All geopolitics is a reflection of the good and the bad, the greatness and the evil of humanity. And so, never allow sentimentality to fuel the moves that you make on the geopolitical chessboard. Every single country on this planet, especially the big players, is always being guided by their own national interests. Because African countries keep forgetting that, they keep diminishing into pawns. Back to Pretoria, South Africa did something it almost never does. It openly rebuked Russia, not just with a whisper, but with clear, strong words. South Africa's Department of International Relations and Cooperation condemned Russia's airstrike in Ukraine. The strike killed 24 pensioners who were simply queuing in line for their money. The department called it indiscriminate and said that it was a violation of international law. That's a strong statement, one that doesn't mince words. Ukraine itself was surprised. Its foreign ministry even posted a public thank you to South Africa for showing solidarity. Think about that. South Africa, a country long accused of leaning too much on Moscow's side, suddenly taking a stand against Russia's attack on civilians. In geopolitics, every single move matters, and timing is critical. So why now? Some believe Pretoria wants to play a bigger role in peace negotiations. Some believe that Ramaphosa is trying to save whatever is left between the relationship between him and Trump. Now, let's travel north to Kenya. William Ruto is fresh from Ethiopia, where he attended the historic inauguration of the Great Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. Kenya also broke tradition. Nairobi condemned Israel's bombing of a residential building in Doha, Qatar. That's a big deal, guys. Kenya almost always avoids criticizing Israel, even when bombs fall on Gaza. But this time was different. The Ministry of Foreign and Diaspora Affairs called the attack a clear violation of Qatar's sovereignty and territorial integrity.
على أنها ستواصل دورها الإنساني والدبلوماسي.
We will continue our humanitarian and diplomatic role without any hesitation in order to stop the bloodshed. At the same time, we will not condone any attack on our sovereignty. We will reserve the right to respond through tools guaranteed by international law.
The Doha building was hit while Qatar was hosting Hamas leaders for ceasefire talks. 5 people died. but the intended target survived. But the message was clear that Israel would strike Hamas anywhere, even in another nation's capital. Kenya wasn't impressed. It warned that such actions threatened international peace and security. This extends beyond the physical building itself into the domain of diplomacy. If mediators can't guarantee security for talks, how can peace be built? For decades, Kenya has been viewed as a friend of the West and of Israel. But by standing with Qatar at this moment, it drew a line. It said that sovereignty matters, that international law matters, and that no country, no matter how powerful, is above those principles. So, South Africa's rare condemnation of Russia and Kenya's rare condemnation of Israel have something in common. They shine a light on that elusive pillar of geopolitics that I mentioned earlier. That elusive pillar of geopolitics is neutrality. Neutrality is not silence, it's focus. It says that our interests come first. Not Washington's, not Beijing's, not Moscow's, ours. When you are not locked into one camp, every camp must earn your handshake. That creates leverage. Options raise your price. A neutral Africa has more alternatives, more markets. When one offer is bad, you can walk. And when you can walk, you get better terms. Neutrality also lowers your risk. If you lean too much on one side, you live on that side's modes. Diversify your partners, and their pressure loses its bite. You can't be bullied around. Neutrality lets you prize what you own. Africa sits on global transport corridors, immense minerals, the sun, the wind, and giant growing markets. There's a catch though. I will conclude with that catch. Neutrality works best when we act as one. Let's align fully with each other here in Africa first. All 57 countries. Let's align, then bargain outward. A single country is a market. A united Africa is a supermarket. A single country can be pushed to the wall. A united Africa will push America or China or Europe to the wall. Let's set common red lines. If one country caves, all lose. If all hold, all win. We will not be taken for granted by anyone. We will not be divided. We will deal with all on terms that build African jobs, African industry, and African dignity on our terms. That's how neutrality becomes strength. That's it for today. Remember, the Pan-African sun is rising. There is no one in this world and no force on this earth that can keep it from rising. My name is DJ Bwakali and Africa is my superpower. See you again soon. If you haven't subscribed, remember to do so and consider becoming a member.